So diabetes is, because growing up, our family, like, diabetes is really high. But I just always thought it was, like, sugary stuff, like soda. Like, that was it. Soda, candy. But
it's a lot more.
I never knew that. So I don't really drink soda. So I was like, man, I'm not diabetes.
And that's a lot of a very common misconception I have with my patients is like, well, I don't eat sweets, I don't eat cake, I don't eat candy, drink soda or juice. But when you look at their meals, it's huge amounts of rice or only eating saimin, like for days and days and days, and that's very carb heavy too.
What's up, everybody? This is Curtis Pooley here, bringing you your Real Talk Maui Podcast. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm here with my cousin Bryson.
How's it, everybody?
You already know my brother Jonah.
What's up?
But tonight we got a special guest on the podcast tonight. If you guys watched our last podcast, we talked about diabetes awareness and possibly bringing on somebody that can actually talk to us about that topic. But yeah, without further ado, I'd like to introduce one of the most hardest working person I know.
Yep.
My beautiful wife, Dr. Mailani Pooley. What's up, babe?
What's up, babe?
Hello.
Hi, Mai. How are you doing?
Hi.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, but just tell us like on quick rundown of what you do, your position and what you actually do at your job.
What do you do, Mailani?
I don't know. What do I do?
McDonald's,
So I am an ambulatory care clinical pharmacist. I work in primary care as a diabetes care manager. So it's a lot of big words, fancy words for pretty much just saying that I help to manage patients' diabetes. So that means, talking to them about lifestyle changes, diet, exercise, and then of course the big one is medications.
Yeah.
So starting things, stopping things, adjusting the dose, changing their insulin doses, following up on labs, all that kind of stuff.
Wow, it's a lot of big words, like you said. Yeah, I was lost the first 5 seconds you started talking. Oh no, that's cool though. That's real cool. And how's how's your patients like when you deal with them? Like, are they hard hit or they?
Oh yeah. Most people are. It's kind of tough when you get that diagnosis of diabetes. You know? It's something that not a lot of people want to hear. It's hard for them to accept. And then the fact that I got to tell them, okay, you got to make changes, or we got to start this medication, we got to start you on insulin. It's things that are really tough. So a lot of times the first couple appointments is just me telling them like, okay, this is our goals, this is what we got to do, and I hope that you trust me. We got to build that relationship before I can start doing some stuff. Yeah,
because you pretty much giving all your knowledge to them. Like, bro, I know where you're at. I know how to get you where you want to be. You just got to follow these steps and you'll get there. And it's all about, and after a while, it's like, it's kind of up to you, bro, if you're going to do them. You gotta really want to be healthy. Like how you were saying in the earlier episode, it's really like the drive that somebody gotta have to want to be more healthier, more think about their future, you know what I mean? So that's solid though.
So you only deal with diabetes patients primarily or only, right?
Yeah, so all of my patients are diabetics, but we also deal with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, so it's a combination of the three. Because most people don't only have one chronic condition, they have multiple.
Okay, so with that being said, what is the difference? Because I'm pretty sure there's 2 types of diabetes, right? Type 1 and type 2.
Yeah.
So can you just explain to us what both of those is and the difference?
So most people, 90% of diabetics are type 2 diabetes. That's the one that most people think of. When you think of diabetes, like maybe it's because what people think of is overweight, lifestyle, you never take care of yourself, and so now you have diabetes. Like that's what most people think of when they think of type 2 diabetes. But really it's caused by multiple different things, but either our body is no longer sensitive to the insulin that we make, right? Because our body naturally makes insulin. Either we're not sensitive to it anymore, or we don't make enough of it. And then type 1 diabetes is what we think of with kids, kids who get diabetes at a young age. There's also adults that get it too, but for the most part, it's early onset, and that's more of like an autoimmune condition.
So is like type 1 more like hereditary, or?
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah. And then type 2 is more like how you live, your lifestyle.
Yes, but also there's a hereditary component, meaning there is some sort of genetic component. But for the most part, it is lifestyle changes, obesity, stuff like that. So for type 2 diabetes, the way that we treat it is diet, lifestyle, and then medication. So it's a combination of the three.
Yeah.
There's other types of diabetes too, but those are two major ones.
Yeah. Just the most common, I guess, right?
Yeah. Like what I do for my job, I love it. Like I want my patients to do well. I'm not there, I'm not there just to make money. Like I want you to genuinely improve. I want your diabetes to get under control. So I'm going to do everything I can to help you. But with that being said, like I cannot feed you. I'm not home with you, like making your meals and telling you to go exercise. Like I'm not with you for that. So a lot of it is up to the patient, and there is some pretty hard-headed patients. I'm not
you get
gonna
people
lie.
like snap, like I don't like do that. Like,
yeah.
All the time.
I mean, it's a hard thing to accept. It's a chronic disease. That means diabetes is, once you're diagnosed, it's not curable. You're never going to be cured of diabetes.
Well, you can never get rid of it.
No. But we can say that your diabetes is controlled. We can say that, okay, once your A1C, when A1C is a blood test that we do to check on how your diabetes is controlled. And if we have it under a certain point, if we've reached your goal, A1C, then I can say your diabetes is controlled. Like you're at a decreased risk for all of the complications of kidney disease, blindness, heart attack, stroke. And we can say that's great. Your diabetes is controlled. But I can't ever say you're cured of your diabetes.
But that doesn't mean like, luau. No. You still got to keep on that.
Yeah. Because it can always worsen.
Yeah.
So would you feel like the diet, like kind of the diet out here in Hawaii, is a result of that numbers being so high? Like, like how we get all our stuff shipped in, like we can food, processed food, like, because we don't really grow much, like a lot of things here that we eat. Like a lot of it is being shipped in. So would that be like kind of a or just it's just like you're kind of asking me if that's why we have diabetes, or like just like a main reason why the foods that we have available here.
That's probably That's probably top 5 reasons, guaranteed.
Yeah. It is. I mean, it's very significant. But when you look at the chronic diseases in Hawaii, when Captain Cook first came, like hundreds of years ago, and they documented what Hawaiians look like. What did our kanaka look like back then? We were super fit. We were like, they were amazed at how great we were, like athletically, physically, all those things. And so
negative on that.
So when you look at it now, like what was the difference between then and now? And we can see that the Western colonialism has significantly impacted our diet. Yes. Our lifestyle. Yes. When we are undergoing, racism, and there's like this historical trauma from hundreds of years ago that are affecting our economy, like you said, like bringing in food, or the fact that people can't afford things nowadays. I have so many patients that say they can't afford to eat healthy.
That's real.
So those are very significant factors in why the Native Hawaiian population is one of the highest.
I was gonna ask you, out of all your patients, is it like majority Native Hawaiian Polynesians, or?
I have a very large population. Yes, I would say yes, because of the areas that I serve are primarily Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander. If we think about the geographical areas of Maui. the people that I serve are mainly Polynesians. And when you look at the statistics, so for Hawaii, 40% of people, all people in Hawaii, have pre-diabetes. And then another 13% have actual diabetes. And that's just in Hawaii in general. When we look at Native Hawaiians in Kanaka Maoli, that amount of diabetes goes up to 22%. So it's quite significant. Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, other than like the size or like, you know, how people, they see you on fat guy and they're like, oh, diabetes. But, you know, I've met like skinny dudes that was skinny all their life and bad to get like full blown like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And they eat good or whatever, you know, they have it controlled, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, even that trips me out. Like, so it's not just, you know, the size or, you know, the way they're eating, you know, sometimes like how you said, it's like genetics too, right? Like,
right. Yeah.
Exercising too, I'm sure. Yeah. Exercising is a big thing that you should be doing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, of course, bro. Yeah, just with anything.
I feel like that's the solution for everything. Yeah. Eat better and exercise.
Yeah. Just keep the blood flow, like not like, you know, just always once you
So like physical activity, dieting. But as far as dieting, what would be like the best diet?
Yeah, like what kind of food do you stay away from?
Like if you're right on the brink of getting diabetes and you want to switch it up to the diet so you don't get diabetes, what is the best?
So it's important to have a well-balanced meal, okay? So we do want to have carbs, protein, and fats in every meal. You know, there's like all these fads with the keto diet and like, you know, avoiding all carbs at all times, and that's not actually very helpful at all for our diabetic patients. Like that's actually harmful if we go into ketosis. And so we do want to try to avoid that.
That's why I never did it.
So
that's the one, you just only eat protein, right?
Yeah, no carbs.
Yeah, no carbs, no sugar.
That's
right?
keto,
which yes, there are some keto diets I think that they'll still have some carbs, but they'll try to avoid it.
Very low though.
But our brain functions only on glucose. It cannot function on protein or fats. So we do need some sort of glucose in our diet. Yeah.
So white rice is actually good, yeah.
No.
Just the amount we eat is not good.
So when we think about rice, yes, like for Hawaii, rice is a staple now, right? And so we want to try, if possible, to just limit it. Like everything is portion control. When we're thinking about that well-balanced meal and you have your plate in front of you, you want half your plate to be vegetables. Okay, like green leafy vegetables, not starchy vegetables. Yeah. And then the other half is going to be separated protein and carbs. And then for our carbs, like it's okay, you know, to have rice, but hey, can we switch up to brown rice? And like I know they don't like brown rice, and I was getting big trips about switching us to brown rice.
I can handle brown rice. Whoa.
Yeah.
I can handle brown rice.
But
like once a week. The rest I'll eat.
Yeah.
If we can at least go from maybe white rice to the hapa blend, you know, the mixed one, and then switch to brown later.
Yeah.
And the reason why that's helpful is because brown rice has fiber in it. So it kind of slows down the absorption of the sugar rather than white bread, white rice, where the sugar just peaks up real high. Yeah.
What if like white rice with shoyu? That's pretty brown.
And then what about meats then? So what kind of meats?
We want to try to go towards lean meats, so chicken and fish, and then avoid the red meats as possible. Doesn't mean you have to, you know, completely cut it out of your diet, but if we can, try to limit those things. Yeah.
So diabetes is, because growing up, our family, like, diabetes is really high, but I just always thought it was like sugary stuff, like soda, like that was it, soda.
Yeah.
You know, candy, but.
It's a lot more.
I never knew that. So I don't really drink soda, so I was like, I don't have diabetes.
And that's a very common misconception I have with my patients is like, well, I don't eat sweets, I don't eat cake, I don't eat, you know, candy, drink soda or juice. But when you look at their meals, it's huge amounts of rice, or only eating salmon, you know, like for days and days and days. And that's very carb heavy too.
Yeah.
But, you know, like I mentioned earlier, with some patients not being able to afford healthy foods, it's like rice is cheaper, salmon is cheaper, you know. So we want to try to supplement that then in that case, you know. So instead of a whole pack of salmon, because if you look at the label on the salmon package, one serving is only half of it. So if you can have half that pack of salmon and add stuff, like add some veggies, add some meat in, then it's a little bit more, you know, balanced instead of just the pack salmon.
Yeah. Okay, I never know that we're only supposed to eat half. You guys do that?
Negative.
Well, like, when was the last time you guys ever went take half the salmon and cook that? And let me eat one bowl of salmon and half the... I did not know that. So that
I eat 2 packs on a regular. So just one
regular.
pack. So just one pack.
Who the heck would take time to cut that salmon in half?
That's just a mess. Like, just thinking about it.
That's just a setup, I feel like, right there, man.
Yeah, Simon companies just make it half.
Yeah.
Make it the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's funny, man. Yeah.
So, okay, so talking about like how you said your patients, you know, they get a hard time afford and, you know, this and that. Do you guys like have like a plan for them? Like if they say they cannot afford, like do you have like a like a, not like a payment plan, but like, or just like a way like, okay, well, if you cannot afford, you know, if you do it this way, it's more affordable, and I'm pretty sure you can afford with this and that, you know, like, do you guys have something like that?
With regards to medications or like foods or like just in general?
Everything, yeah.
And
everything.
So it's a struggle when we think about like healthcare in America, because it sucks, you know. I mean, like, we have great quality healthcare, but for accessibility with regards to cost, it's not the greatest, you know, compared to other countries. So with that being said, you know, if I have a patient who's struggling to afford, you know, medications, we can try to look for options like Medicaid Quest, you know, and getting their medications covered. If they don't qualify, because maybe they're just over the income limit, you know, then I can try to look for cheaper meds. Like, you know, we have things like metformin and glipizide, and for insulin, there's like the cheap...
That's like both my medicine.
Yeah. There's like a cheaper insulin, you know, and it might not be the newest medication out there. It might not have like all the benefits of weight loss and all of this stuff, but at least it'll help manage your diabetes, and it's not going to break the bank, you know? And then for food, you know, for our lifestyle changes, I try to tell my patients, like, okay, can we try to get frozen vegetables or, you know, frozen foods? Because I know at Walmart, they sell that frozen bag veggies for like $1.50, you know? Or can we do canned beans and then just rinse out the beans, you know, so you get the salt out? Yeah. And, you know, trying to make simple changes that actually would be helpful.
And also like trying to accommodate their living style, you know what I mean, because not everybody's like how you said can afford, right? I mean that's pretty cherry, because you're literally trying to do everything you possibly can to help the patient, and you know, it's just like how you said, it's always up to them. It's like, at least to have that option. That's solid.
And Mai does like really want to help them, because one time we Kurt made rice and Mai was like, oh, I only want like 1 scoop because I can't be telling my patients to lower the rice, and then I'm here eating 2 scoops, and I was like, oh wow, like,
I'll be the worst.
But you can tell she cares.
So just kind of explain to us the importance of kind of monitoring your A1C levels, and you know, why they prick their finger to kind of
check and all that stuff.
All of that. Like, can you kind of explain like the process of all that?
Yeah, so it's really important that we actually get these lab works done, you know, for your diabetes, checking the A1C. So the A1C is a blood test. It's a 3-month average of your blood sugars. So the sugar kind of hops onto your hemoglobin cells, and so we measure your hemoglobin A1C to look at, okay, what has your blood sugars been on average in the past 3 months? So it gives us this really good history, like a picture of what your diabetes is like, or if you might have diabetes. So it's really important for you to do that lab work, cholesterol, all those things, blood pressure, because these diseases, these chronic diseases, diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, we don't know. Most people don't know if their sugar is a little bit high after they've eaten. They don't know if their blood pressure is a little bit high or their cholesterol is high. And that's because, these things are called the silent killers. We don't know that they're creeping up for the most part.
Yeah.
You might feel like your sugars is low, once you get treated. If you're on a certain medication, you feel that shaky, clammy, cold sweats. But most people don't know that, they have diabetes or they have high blood pressure or high cholesterol until it's too late.
Yeah.
And once you get the symptoms, then it's like, it's bad,
No, I know exactly what you mean, because I didn't know I had diabetes until I was applying for a job and I had to go do lab work because they had a full extent, full physical, right? And then that's where I found out, like, my A1C number was super high. My doctor was tripping out. He's like, dude, do you even check yourself, like, at all? I was like, oh, no, I never did. And I found out, like, no, my sugars was like 330. You know what I mean? Like, it was real, like, wow, I didn't even know my body was like that right now, because I just felt like I was normal every day, But would it be, is it just people who have diabetes that should do it, or like anybody random? It's just good to do.
Check.
Yeah.
Like, just to be safe,
Anybody over the age of 35 for sure. And then if you have family history, which most of us have family history of of something, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, cancer,
No, but you fit the.
The next thing was obesity, so we do want to get those things checked out regularly.
That's good though, because our family is high in diabetes, and my family.
But even my side, but my mom, her mom, her sisters, like everybody, like
I feel like just Hawaii in general too. Just diabetes is gotta be the top 5 diseases.
Easy.
A tree even maybe.
It might be one.
Might be top dog, bro. Might be.
Yeah. But it is scary and I know I should go get tested because our family and
Yeah.
And the other one that you said.
So the test is that you're talking about. It's just blood work, right?
Yeah.
We're not like we just go in and we just set up an appointment and just give blood and then come back with the results.
So, figure out who your primary care doctor is. And
I don't think I have one.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm looking at you. Set up an appointment with, find a primary care doctor. On Maui, we do have a shortage of primary care physicians and providers. So it might take a little bit, but find somebody, let them know, like, hey, I have a family history of this, or, I wanted to just get my lab work done. Can you go ahead and order those labs for me? And it's real quick. You just go in, get your lab work done. They draw the, samples out your vein, and then that's it. Like,
pretty much in and out.
Yeah.
What you was talking about that celebrity freaking weight loss thing? What was it called? The medicine that.
Oh, the one that all the celebrities using for like lose a bunch of weight. What is it called, man?
Ozempic.
Yeah.
He looked at me. Bro, I forget.
So Ozempic is the name.
One job, Jonah.
But what is Ozempic, babe?
You want to know what, like, how?
Yeah, because that's the one that everybody talking about.
GLP-1 receptor antagonist. That's
okay, English.
English. Oh my God, your Japanese is flawless. Oh my God.
So the way that Ozempic works is that it slows down the release of food from your stomach. So not only that, but it helps your brain to think that you're full faster. So you get fuller faster. You are less hungry, and then you're not hungry for longer. Does that make sense? Like 3 different ways that it works. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was originally for diabetes, a treatment for diabetes, and we've seen great improvement with it. But it has also helped tremendously with weight loss. And so now we're seeing a lot of people who want it just for weight loss. The problem is that we don't have enough of the drug. So the patients who need it for diabetes are not getting it.
There's actually need it.
Right.
Because people are just trying to lose weight.
And we do have other drugs that are in the same class. So I like to say that they're cousins. For example, there's Ozempic, that's a once a week injection, but Victoza is a once a day injection.
Oh, it's an injection. I thought it was a pill.
No, it's an injection. They do have a pill version, but it's
You just inject yourself at home, or you gotta go in?
Yeah, it's.
You don't gotta go in, and they just give you and you inject yourself with them. Then.
Yeah, but it's not like in the IV. It's an injection like
insulin
in your fat into the
Oh,
insulin.
so it's not be on vein. It's just anywhere.
Yeah. So So Ozempic is beneficial. We do prescribe it and we do use it for type 2 diabetes, but the problem is, like, when you see these advertisements and these celebrities who are using it, now everybody wants it. We kind of got to use it for,
Why don't they just do it the old-fashioned way and just freaking diet?
And then what about, like, do you have to stay on it to keep that weight off, or like once you get off of it, you just blow right back up?
So it's the same thing with how we treat diabetes, right? So for diabetes treatment, you think of it as drugs, so medication, diet, exercise, right? Weight loss can be the same thing. Medications, diet, exercise. Of course, we're always going to start with diet and exercise first. Like, I don't want to start people on medications unnecessarily, I'm going to try to work with you with your diet and your exercise first before I start adding on drugs. So if we are trying the diet, we're trying the exercise, the lifestyle changes, and it's not happening, then that's when we're going to come in to the medications. So we have the 3 categories, right, that we use to treat diabetes and also weight loss. So if you're started on a medication like Ozempic, or one of the other medications that we use for weight loss, but you're not doing the other 2 parts, you're not doing the diet, you're not doing the exercise, if we take off that medication, you're going to gain the weight back because you're not doing the things that help to maintain that weight, So same thing with diabetes. When patients ask me, like, am I going to need to be on this forever? Part of that is dependent on you. Like, part of it is doing the lifestyle changes.
The medicine will only do so much. You gotta.
Yeah. And then that's where we got to add on another medication, and then another one, and then they're asking me, like, well, I thought I didn't need this. I thought I could go back. We could, we could try. We could really try if we do all these things. But if we don't, that's when we got to add something else on.
Yeah, I know. And I know some people that they're like, oh, I don't like take medicine from America, this and that. And they go like the food natural remedy thing. What, like, do you have anything like to say like to those guys? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not all bad, Right.
Yeah. And I totally understand that. Like, I am a pharmacist, right? Like, that's my training as a pharmacist, and I'm a drug expert. And yet in my personal life, I try not to use drugs as much as possible. I try not to use medication. So when I get sick, I'm like, I'm really not going to take medicine unless I absolutely need to, Same thing with the kids. Like, Kurt just was sick and he got mad because I didn't have allergy pills in the house. I'm so sorry, but if we can try to use some natural remedies, but the caution that I have with those is that a lot of the things that we have on the market are not regulated, so we have pretty strict regulations with the FDA for medications, and we do not have any regulation for natural, supplements, herbal supplements. So there are certain things like berberine, chromium, and cinnamon that are used and marketed towards diabetes. And there have been some studies that have shown that they could be beneficial. The problem is we don't know their safety, so we've seen actually where people take these supplements and it causes their sugars to go so low that they're putting themselves at risk for a diabetic coma. So we gotta balance it, and we try to avoid, like, recommending those things because of that uncertainty. But that doesn't mean that you know, we don't have to, or we have to shy away from those things. You know, like we have la'au lapa'au, right, for Hawaiian medicine. And I spent 2 years studying la'au lapa'au because I knew that there was a benefit and there was a potential for anti-cancer, right? So, you know, if we can stick to and try to utilize some of the traditional medicine that we have for Hawaiians, you know, we might be able to see some benefit there. But for some of the new like herbal supplements, it's tough. Like Dr. Oz has a CBD gummy that is supposed to cure diabetes. Like that's we talked about how, you know, diabetes is not curable, right? We kind of talked about that. But there's some people say that it made their sugars worse. Some people said it made it too low and they were getting, you know, the shakes and the jitteries and stuff like that. So herbal supplements and dietary supplements is something we just gotta be cautious of.
That's cool. The la'au lapa'au. That's a native plant that actually get cures for cancer. Native Hawaiian plant. That's pretty sick. Like, if you think of that, like, and it's only found here, like, that's pretty cool. Like,
because that even brings back to what she was saying before, like, you know, before Captain Cook came, right? You know, like we was living off.
They bought the diseases, that's why anyway. So I'm sure we never need all those medicines until they came. So.
To the white man,
But what was it? But back on that Ozempic thing. So Ozempic it's brand new, right? It's brand new.
Yeah.
So there's no long-term effect study yet until like later on down the road we'll find out if somebody's growing like one third leg now.
You're not gonna grow a third leg. Some of the more serious things that have been found is like psychiatric related. So there are people who have increased risk of like suicidal thoughts or psychosis, thyroid cancer.
So it's still kind of in a trial, because we don't know like the long-term effects really until, because it's pretty new. So right, it's still like kind of in the trial or no?
No.
Nah, it's been around.
It's been.
They don't even care about the long-term effects. I just take my medicine.
So diabetes sucks, then.
I know I gotta get checked.
Man, I mean,
for sure, man.
Everybody, like how Maya was saying, everybody should just do it. It's just not that hard. It's very quick, you know. Just for keep yourself in the know where your body's at. And even if you don't have diabetes, and you check your number and you see you're almost there, like, it's the perfect time for change up your lifestyle. You know, always should stay in the know know what your body is going through, whatever walk of life you stay at. You know, so
man, it took me forever to go get mine, man. So if you was to go this week and go get yours, you still didn't take as long as I took. I'm pretty sure it was like 30 years. I'm pretty sure when I went in, my doctor was actually my pediatrician, right? So. We went from pediatrician and then my doctor when I'm 33 now. So he was like, "When was the last time you came in?" I was a kid.
Remember that time I came in?
No,
it's been a while, but I'm happy I did it. You know.
Yeah.
And everybody should do it, man. Just for check, man. Safe for check, man. You never know, man. If it comes out good,
me, I'm just like nervous. Like, what if I get?
That's kind of good,
though.
But and that's kind of what I talked about. Like, there's a lot of patients who are afraid of the diagnosis, and I get it. Like, it can be scary, you know, and that can be with any diagnosis, you know, like any disease state that we have. It can be scary to get that diagnosis, but. It's something that it's like, okay, you know, what can I do to get this under control? What can I do to prevent the complications? And for diabetes, that is the biggest reason why I want my patients to get it under control, is because I don't want them to get the complications. And the complications of diabetes, right? We have microvascular and macrovascular. So microvascular is the small vessels, you know. So if you're starting at your feet, you know, you get the numbness and the tingling. That's called neuropathy, you know, in your nerves. That's what happens when, like, people get an infection on their foot because they stub their toe because they cannot feel their feet anymore. And then they got to chop it off, you know? And then you have your kidneys. So it causes kidney damage, right? And then it can also affect your eyes, cause blindness. Damn. And then that's only the microvascular. Macrovascular is the big vessels, right? Yeah. And that's where your heart attack and stroke comes in, you know. So we want to prevent all of these complications. So that's why it's so important for us to get it under control. Even though you don't feel no different, by the time you feel different, you know, you feel the symptoms, that means something's happening. We want.
What are some of the major symptoms of diabetes?
The symptoms of diabetes, the three main ones that we think of is increased peeing, increased thirst, like you're super thirsty and you're super hungry.
Everything.
That was just me like this past week.
Yeah. So that's like what we call telltale signs of diabetes is increased urination, increased thirst, and increased hunger. When you think about the symptoms of high blood sugars, that's what they present as. And then if it's very severe, even like over 1,000, that's possible. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. It's pretty amazing, but that there at that point is like severe blurred vision, and then you can go
like stroke kind.
Like comatose.
Damn.
So it's important to recognize and listen to your body.
Increase hunger. What if it's like you never eat breakfast and then at 10:30 or
so how do you know it's diabetes?
So like. Talking about you never eat breakfast, right? So I mentioned that we want to have like well-balanced meals, right? So for diabetic patients, it's super important for us to have small, frequent meals, okay? So that's going to be breakfast, lunch, dinner, but then 2 snacks in between, And if you really wanted to get specific, the recommendation is to have about 30 grams of carbs in your meal and then about 15 grams in your snacks, okay? So what does that look like? That could be a scoop of rice, that could be one. And let me clarify, a scoop of rice is
like the ice cream scoop,
one third of a cup of rice. Yes. Yeah. 1/3 of a cup of rice. If you're looking at a slice of bread, so 1 carb serving is 1 slice of bread. And that's 15 grams.
What is that, like the rice and one musubi then?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That would be it.
I can eat a musubi. That's like one hard serving.
I got scared for a second. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Rice and a musubi, that's the max.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that's like 1 carb serving, okay? So for a sandwich that has 2 carb servings, that is your meal right there, okay? So it's important for us to recognize that portion control for each of our meals. And we don't want to have like no carb breakfast, no carb lunch, and then heavy carb dinner.
But what would be like a healthy breakfast? Because me and Brad, we spent.
Yeah, we love breakfast.
Okay. Obviously. So what do you like to eat for breakfast?
Portuguese sausage, eggs, rice, bacon,
sausage patties,
sausage,
about 6 eggs,
corned beef hash, all of that,
and a very unhealthy diabetic amount of rice.
Okay.
Cold rice.
Okay, so I do not like cold rice. Okay, so for a breakfast meal, you guys like the meat, the eggs, the rice. Can we, instead of the rice, can we do maybe a slice of whole wheat toast?
No.
So do your egg.
Yeah.
You can do your egg on a slice of whole wheat toast.
You said egg, not eggs?
Now, how many eggs?
Let's just clarify.
So that is not part of your carb restriction, right?
Oh, okay.
So for you, for a diabetic who wants to control their sugars, we want to limit the carb portion, right? Yeah. So your protein portion, which is your egg, there's no limit on that.
Okay.
So,
do I have 3?
You can have 3, sure.
Yes.
I mean, if you have high cholesterol, might want to watch eggs.
That's the silent killer.
Damn it, I have that too. Anyway.
So for your breakfast, maybe you're going to have a slice of whole wheat toast with your eggs and then your sausage. Okay, whatever, that's fine. What might be an even better option is, can we try some plain Greek yogurt and some sliced fruits with hard-boiled eggs on the side?
Okay, well, can we try some granola in that?
Sure. Yeah. Can we keep in mind how many grams of carbs are going to be in that granola? Especially if it's
Can we not?
Can we not? Can we just...
Especially if it's like honey granola, you know, with dried fruits inside. You know, like there's all these hidden sources of sugar in food that we
right. Everybody just looks past it, just see granola, and they're like, "Oh my god, healthy! Put it in there."
No. So yeah, that would be a great breakfast. Yeah. Okay. For lunch, you know, most people like to do sandwiches or something like that. That's fine. Try to avoid the plate lunches, you know, because when we have our 2 scoop rice, our protein, and our mac salad, mac salad has carbs too, right? The macaroni. So we got to keep in mind like all of these things that people don't think about. You know?
Right.
And sandwich with wheat bread, right?
Whole wheat bread.
The 9 grain.
Yeah. Yep. And then try to avoid the side chips, you know? And like, can we go with, if you really need something crunchy, can we go with a side of carrots?
I was going to say baby carrots. I mean, because I've had sandwiches that just, you know, when I sell them or when I had to go on my diet, when I found out, you know, I had to kind of chill out. That was like one of my
carrots.
Yeah, but, you know, soak them in ranch though.
Is hummus good?
Yeah, hummus is good. It's made out of chickpeas.
Yeah.
I feel like the adding chips and fries, that's my biggest
weakness.
Because whenever I eat one sandwich, I gotta eat chips or fries or something.
For when we was kids, Kurt was like that, like stale fries and all.
You gotta eat a sandwich on burger with fries or chips. I don't know how else you would.
Right?
No, I like French fries too.
I'm a big quinoa guy. Is that
goes?
Yeah, quinoa is great because quinoa is a grain, so it has the carbs, but it also has a lot of fiber, so it slows down the sugar absorption, and then it also has some protein in there. So quinoa is really great.
Oh, okay.
What you eat them with?
But I usually, when we make them, put them in with like mushroom, onions, you know, and kind of just for like texture and like flavor.
Yeah.
And then sometimes we get like steamed broccoli and then like chicken or something like that, you know, just some protein.
But you stir fry the quinoa with the stuff? No, you just
cook them in a rice pot.
Oh, okay.
It's quinoa like rice?
Kind of like the same texture.
Or it would kind of just take the place of what you would put
for rice.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
See,
like,
I know
but that we still gotta keep in mind, like.
Why'd you even ask?
So even though we do the switch to quinoa, we do still want to keep in mind what that portion control is. And I think for Hawaii, for Hawaiians and local people in general, portion control is one of the biggest issues we have, you know?
Because we think we're still hungry, but we actually have enough in our system halfway to the plate already.
Right. Yeah. Or instead of like 5 scoops of rice, can we cut it down to 2 and then cut it down to 1? You know, like can we try to cut back a little bit because we really don't need that much.
I feel like one good way that we could do that in Hawaii, I don't know, they probably tried this before though, but buy smaller plates and bowls, like so you force yourself to have they probably did that, but I was just thinking of that
like
force you to use the small stuff, so you're gonna have to keep going back for eat more, and then eventually you'd be like, man, I'm good already.
Right. I used to just pound like plenty of water before I eat, so that I'd be a little bit more full, so I wouldn't, you know.
Is that a good
want to eat?
Or start off with the veggies.
The greens,
you know, like that's salad. Why we have a side salad first. You know, have the salad. You can have unlimited vegetables, like green leafy vegetables. Have your salad, have your side veggies first, and then have your main portion, so that hopefully you'll feel fuller. And if you can, try to eat slowly. Don't rush through your meal because your brain.
Why, that's true?
Yeah, because your brain.
I thought that was just a myth.
No.
Oh shoot!
It takes time. Like your stomach gotta send a signal to your brain that you're
eat
full.
Slow.
You know, so if you're eating too fast, that connection is not being made. So slow down. Don't be rushing.
I gotta step out on my vegetable cooking and stuff.
Yeah.
It's hard, man. Like when you guys at work though, and you just warming up like stuff to eat.
Yeah.
Like it's not as good as if like you used to make some kind of vegetable.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Home, like, even for me, like when I stay on the road, like I'm a microwave, so
exactly.
I microwave in the morning when I leave my house, and then whenever I get hungry, cold and all, like I just mop on that. But I mean, still good though. Still, but I'm not really a salad guy too. Like I'm not really. I can do like steamed veggies, you know what I mean? Like that kind with, you know, a little bit seasonings here and there, but I don't know what it is about salad. Like I can grind them for a little bit, but not like every day kind of. I don't know. Yeah. But I need it with like a protein too.
Right. And it doesn't have to be salad, you know. We could do other vegetables too, you know. As long as we're trying to focus on having more of those things and less of the other things, then that's good.
And I feel like I'm learning a lot of stuff. Yeah. It's just pretty good.
I don't know, I just feel more down about myself.
No, and you know what? The fact that you said that is really important, because I have so many patients who tell me, like, they're trying their hardest, they have a hard time. Like, for example, if they can't afford it, or if they work a overnight shift, you know, the only place that's open is McDonald's, you know.
I never thought about that.
What am I going to eat if the only place that's open is McDonald's or Taco Bell? Okay, fine. Like, that is our option. But instead of getting a meal, can we try to avoid the French fries? Or when you go to Taco Bell, can you not get, like, the heavy rice options? Or, you know, try to get there's like a power bowl, you know, try to get that instead of 3 tacos, you know. So we want to try to just have something that's a little bit more balanced than what we would normally think in a fast food restaurant. Yeah. But keep in mind that you don't need to be perfect. And this is what I tell my patients every single day. No one is perfect, and I'm not expecting you to be perfect. All I'm asking is that you try most of the time. If most of the time you're doing okay, if most of the time we try to avoid the juice, the soda, portion control, if we can get that walk in every day, then you're doing what you can, you know. Nobody's perfect, you know. If it's your birthday, it's okay for you to have a slice of cake. You know, don't go all out and have the whole entire thing of cake. But
the cake is small, I mean.
But if you can just try to make those little baby steps so that it adds up in the end. Yeah,
so like for people who, you know, more on provider or get a hard time find one, like, you know, do you have anything you could like kind of tell them and, you know, maybe help them out?
Yeah, so if you don't have a primary care provider yet, so the first step you're going to do is find out who your insurance carrier is, you know, Kaiser, HMSA, Aloha Care. You're going to go and figure out who is accepting new patients. And we don't have a lot on Maui, but there are people accepting. Yeah. And so just go and find either a doctor, a nurse practitioner, or a PA. They can all help you. And go and get seen, you know, get your weight done, get your blood pressure done, and then they'll order labs for you, and you can go in and get your labs done. It's super quick.
Yep. What I gotta do, like call around?
Yeah, so for example, if you have HMSA, most people go to like Maui Medical Group, or there's individual doctors that have their own clinics, and you can go there. Just gotta see who's accepting new patients. And so once you do that, then, you know, you get your lab work done and you can figure out where you're at in life, you know.
Because they just like come to your house, you know, like,
right? I mean, because the main goal is for, you know, your future, right? Your kids, you know, like, you know, you like make sure they see you, you know, for the rest of their lives healthy, you know, maybe because guarantee get a couple of patients that's like, oh, you know, I don't like them see me taking all these pills all the time, you know, like I don't like see them have that kind of vision, you know.
Right.
Well, what do you tell them when they say that?
Yeah, you know, it's hard. You don't want your kids to see you having to take pills, having to inject insulin, poke your finger, do a finger check. Yeah. But would you rather them see you do that and try to take care of yourself now, try to eat healthy and try to work out? Or do you want them to see you when you're having to go to dialysis 3 times a week? Yeah. Or if you're, you know, in a wheelchair because we had to cut off your leg from an infection.
Or like not at all.
Right. Or not at all, you know, after having a heart attack or a stroke or something. So it's just really important for us to kind of make sure that everybody gets seen. You know, go to your primary care provider and don't go too worried or concerned just yet, you know. See where you're at, and there's people like me who can help you get it under control. You know, if you do have diabetes or other chronic conditions, we're here to help. And I just want to make sure that we prevent all those complications and get you to be the healthiest that you can be.
Yeah, so get your blood work done, right? The first step is getting your blood work done so you can figure out what's wrong, and then
go from there.
That's the first step, right?
Yeah, and also
checked.
Find a doctor.
Yeah, I was gonna say, find a doctor. Find a doctor.
Yeah.
But also, if you guys, even if all you guys out there, if you guys have any questions, put it in our comment section, and maybe the next time Mailani come on, or even us, we can help answer it. But yeah. Other than that,
because I feel like we missing out on some questions that
we are, but
we just forgot. But
but I'm pretty. She covered mostly a lot, everything to do with and how to.
Yeah, and I'm sure she'll be back eventually.
Oh yeah,
when she's not busy.
Yeah.
But thanks, babe, for being on and making us feel all smarter.
Thank you, Dr. Mailani Pui.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Real Talk Maui. Thank you, Mailani, for joining us.
Thank you, Mai.
Thank
you for coming. Thanks for having me.
Like, comment, and subscribe. And yes, sir.
Get you on the next one.
Real Talk Maui. Outies.
Yeah. Alo.